to Teacher Zarina channel. So today we are going to look at the English Form 5 KSSM. So our topic for today is on It's Personal. So the main skill is writing and the complementary skill is reading. Our first task for today is we are going to write an email. But before that, let's look at the task carefully. First, you have to read the task carefully. So it is important for you to read the writing questions or the writing task carefully so that you know what you have to do. Then if you rush or read without a purpose or the given details, the chances for you to answer incorrectly is there. Then please take note of the details. For example, the situation, the reason you are writing, the topic you have to write, and the type of language to be used. Next, this is the writing task for you, and after you read the writing task, you are going to answer the questions below it. So here is the writing task. You have received an email from your English-speaking friend. Okay, the email is, I have to write about personal relationships for a class project. Can you help by telling me about your most important relationship? Who is it with? What is he or she like? I don't want to be nosy, but can you also explain why the relationship is important to you? Write soon, Mary. Okay, so here under the email or under the task, you are going to write an email or you are going to reply to the email written by Mary. So the words that you are required to write for this writing task is between 140 to 190 words. Then let's look at the situation. Okay, for this question under situation, who has sent you the email? Okay, based on the writing task that we have discussed just now, who has sent you the email? Yes, the email was sent by your friend Mary. So you will write my friend Mary. Okay, number 2, what does she have to do? Okay, based on the writing task just now, what does Mary has to do? Okay, she has to do a class project. Okay, now let's move on to the reason for writing the email. So the first question under this under the reason, why are you replying? Okay, so based on the writing task just now, you are going to reply to your friend Mary to give her information. Okay, so the reason why you are replying is to give her information. Okay, now let's move on to topic. Okay, so under the topic, the first question is, what is the main thing you have to write about? Okay, so based on the writing task again just now, the main thing that you have to write is my most important relationship. Okay, question number 5, based on the topic, what points do you have to include? Okay, here, based on the writing task just now, you have to include these points. Okay, so it is in the form of who it is. Okay, who are the person that you have the relationship with, what they are like, and why the relationship is important to you. So these are the main points that you have to include in your email later. Now, under the language, question number 6, what relationship do you have with the person you are writing to? Okay, so this one you can actually see in the first line from the writing task. Okay, where it's written that your English speaking friend. So in a way, she is my friend. Okay. Okay. The next question is a formal or informal writing style best? Okay. For email, we normally write using the informal writing style. Okay. Okay. Now let's look at practice number 2. Okay, this is the practice based on the question from your textbook on page 14. So the task says, our teacher has asked us to prepare a talk on what young people in different countries do when they are not at school. Can you help by writing and explaining what it's like in your country? What do young people do at home? Where do they go out? And what do they do there? Thanks, Billy. Okay, so based on this writing task, you are going to answer all the questions, the 7 questions from the first task. Okay. Okay, now let's ask the same question that we did in task number 1. Okay, under the situation, okay, based on text number 2 or the writing task number 2, we are going to ask the same question. Okay, so the first question, who has sent you the email? Okay, so based on the writing task number 2, who has sent you the email? Yes, you are right. It's my friend Billy. Okay, let's move on to the second question under situation. What does he has to do? What does he has to do? What does he have to do? Yes, he has to prepare a talk. Okay, so let's move on to the next one under reason. The question, why are you replying? Okay, so the answer is none other than to give him information. That is B. Okay, let's move on to the topic. Under question number 4, what is the main thing you have to write about? Yes, the main thing that you have to write is what young people in different countries do when they are not at school. Okay, so this is under the title of topic. Okay, now let's move on to the next question under topic, which is question number 5. What points do you have to include? So based on the second writing task, okay, what you have to include are these questions. What do young people do at home? And where do they go out? And what do they do there? So these are the main things that you have to write about. Okay. Sorry, this is the point that you have to include in your writing task. Okay, for question number 6, the language. What relationship do you have with the person you are writing to? Okay, so since this is also an English speaking friend, so this is your friend, so you can write my friend. Okay, under the last question, okay, the last question under language. So are we going to use informal or formal writing style? Yes, since this is an email and to a friend, so we are going to use the informal writing style. Okay. Okay, we move on to question number 2 under task 2. Okay, under writing task number 2. Okay, for question number 2, you are going to choose or tick the 2 writing skills you will mainly need to answer this email. Okay, so you have to choose 2 writing skills. So based on the writing task number 2, you are going to first explain or explaining, and also you have to describe or describing. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to question number 3 under writing task number 2. Okay, for question number 3, you are going to choose 2 phrases that are the most suitable for ending the email. Okay, so based on question in 2, you are going to choose 2 phrases that are most suitable for ending the email. Okay, so what are those 2 phrases? Okay, you are actually given 4 choices in your textbook, page 14. So from the 4 choices, which of the phrases that you think are the most suitable for ending the email? Yes, okay, the first one is none other than good luck. Okay, and the next one is I hope I have helped. So these are the 2 phrases that are most suitable for ending the email for question number 2. Okay, now let's move on to question number 4. Okay, based on the task on page 15 from your textbook, the writer uses a separate paragraph in her email for each new topic to make it easier for the reader to follow. So in the email entry, find and underline the words that tell us the topic of paragraphs 2 and 3. Then, which set phrases has the writer used to introduce them? So here, from this question, you have to answer 2 parts. Okay, there are 2 parts that you have to answer for this question. So the first part is you have to find and underline the words that tells us the topic of paragraphs 2 and 3. So based on the email entry, okay, so the words that tell us the topic of paragraphs 2 and 3 are, okay, let's look at paragraph 2 first. Okay, the topic for paragraph 2, okay, so this is the topic for paragraph 2. Okay, so the topic is when teenagers are at home. So this is the topic for paragraph 2. Okay, how about paragraph 3? For paragraph 3, the topic is going out. Yes, you can see from the paragraph 3, the topic, the first sentence, okay, talks about going out. Okay, so these are the 2 topics for paragraphs 2 and 3. Okay, now we are going to look at the second part of this question. Okay, remember just now I'm telling you that there are 2 parts for this question. So the second part is going to be on set phrases. Okay, set phrases is actually what are the phrases that the writer used to introduce the topic. Okay, so the first, from paragraph 2, the set phrases is first of all. So this is the phrases that the writer used to introduce the topic for paragraph 2. Okay, first of all, then when teenagers are at home. So this is the phrases that the writer used to introduce the topic. Okay, how about paragraph 3? Okay, for paragraph 3, the set phrases is actually the first few words. Okay, from paragraph 3. Okay, so when it comes to, so this is the set phrases for paragraph 3 before it introduced the topic for that paragraph. Okay, now we are going to look at question number 5. So question 5 is going to be on linking words. Okay, so based on the task in question number 5 that says, when you expand the topic of a paragraph, use linking words in the sentences that follow to add the new information. Okay, so these are the linking words that you use to add new information. So which linking words have been used in paragraphs 2 and 3? Okay, so you have to identify the linking words that is used in paragraphs 2 and 3. Okay, so for paragraph 2, the linking words used are, okay, though, also, and to. So these are the linking words used in paragraph 2. Okay, let's look at paragraph 3. For paragraph 3, the linking words used are otherwise, as well as that. Okay, so there are only 2 linking words for paragraph 3. Okay, now let's move on to question number 6. Okay, for question 6, we are going to look at these linking words and we are going to identify them. Either they are formal or informal. So if they are formal, you are going to write F, and if they are informal, we are going to write I. Okay, or the capital I or capital F. Okay, let's look at number 1. In addition. So what do you think is in addition? Is it a formal or informal linking words? Yes, in addition is a formal linking word. Okay, so how about number 2? Besides that. Besides that. Yes, besides that is an informal linking words. Okay, move on to number 3. Moreover. Okay, what do you think of moreover? Is it formal or informal? Yes, moreover is a formal linking word. Okay, it's a formal linking word. Number 4. Apart from that. Yes, apart from that. What do you think is apart from that? Is it formal or informal? Yes, they are. It is informal linking words. Okay, number 5. As well. What do you think of as well? Yes, correct. As well is also informal linking words. And the last one, furthermore. Furthermore is actually a formal linking word. So what is the importance for us to know about these formal or informal linking words? Why do we need to know whether they are formal or informal? Yes, of course, we need to know this because when we want to write a formal letter, for example, or we want to write a report, or we want to write an article, okay, so you have to make sure you use the correct linking words. Okay, so for example, if it is a report, you have to use a formal linking words like in addition, moreover, or furthermore. Okay, and if you are writing an email or an informal letter, so you can use informal linking words like besides that, apart from that, or as well. So that is why we need to know whether they are formal or informal linking words. Okay, now let's look at question number 7. Okay, for question 7, this is actually the writing task that you have to do. Okay, so based on the question in question 7, read this writing task and use the plan and the language bank to help you write your email. So when you have finished, check your work carefully. Okay, again, this is another writing task for you to practice what you have learned before based on what we have discussed on the questions 1 to 7 and the layout of the email, okay, and the use of linking words and so on. Okay, so now you are going to put all that into practice. Okay, you are going to write, okay, the email. Okay, first thing first, you have to look at the plan. Okay, where can you find the plan? Okay, use the plan. The first thing that you have to do is you have to use the plan. Okay, the plan is the one where you can find under the writing task in question 7 on page 15. Okay, after you use the plan, you also need to use the language bank. Okay, the language bank is the one on the right side of your book, okay, on page 15. The one in the box, in the orange color box, okay, where you are given some help, okay, to write the email. Okay, now let's look at the plan first. Okay, for the plan, okay, based on the plan, okay, for paragraph 1, you are advised to comment on Tim's email to you. This is based on the writing task in question 7. And say how you feel about helping him. So you have to read the situation and you have to comment on Tim's email first on the first paragraph. Okay. You can also refer to the sample of the email for question number 3 or on page 15, the first email that is a sample email. So you can refer to that, okay, to help you in your writing. Okay, after the first paragraph, how about the other paragraphs? Okay, for paragraphs 2 to 4, sorry, you can first introduce the topic. Remember, we have learned how to introduce the topic. What are the set phrases that we need to use when we want to introduce a topic? Okay, when you introduce the topic, okay, you also need to give information. Okay, give information that you need to write. Okay, or you need to reply based on the task. You have to reply and give some information, and don't forget to use linking words. Okay, again, this is still an email to a pen friend, so you can, or you need to use the informal linking words. Remember the informal linking words. Okay. Okay, now for paragraph 5, or the last paragraph, okay, you may not have until paragraph 5, or but whatever it is, this is the last paragraph. Okay, so for the last paragraph, what you need to write is you have to comment on team project. Okay, you have to comment on team project. Okay, and you can also say you hope that you have helped. Okay, by giving him some information, you hope that you have helped him to complete his project. Okay. Okay. This is the language bank that I was talking about just now. So what are inside the language bank? Okay, in the language bank, okay, you are given some help. Okay, in most of the paragraphs that you will write. Okay, for example, look at the first one, the opening paragraph. Okay, so for the opening paragraph, here are some samples of how you can start, okay, your uh, paragraph, or your first paragraph, your introduction after the greeting. Okay, so you can also write, it was great to get your email, or you can also write, it looks as if you are busy, and so on. And then you can also start by saying your news sounds interesting, and so on. So these are the sample phrases that you can use to open your, or as your opening paragraph, or the first paragraph. Okay. Okay, the next one is we have introducing topics. Okay, this is for informal. So if we want to introduce a topic, so this is the set phrases. Remember just now we learned about set phrases. Okay, so this is where you can use. Okay, you can also choose from the given samples here, like to start with, or you can say first of all. Okay, or you can say as for, or when it comes to, lastly. So these are the set phrases that you can use before you introduce your topic for that particular paragraph. Okay, after that we have linking information. So this is the linking words. Again, this is for informal. So if you are writing an email, so you can use all these examples of linking words. So we have like as well as, or also, to, besides, otherwise, and so on. Okay, so you can make use of this. Okay, then we move on to the routine. Okay, routine is actually one of the topic that you have to write for your friend team. So you can have some ideas by looking at these samples, like the words like always, usually, normally, often, sometimes, rarely, hardly ever. Okay, so these are some examples when you want to talk about your routine at home. Okay. Okay, we also have this like meals. Okay, meals is where is also one of the topic that you have to describe to your friend, to your pen friend. Okay, so you can say when it comes to meal, everyone gets their own food ready. Okay, and then you can also mention about you make or you cook meal, or you cook lunch, or you cook dinner. Okay, then you can also give a point like you grab a quick snack, okay, before you go to work. Okay, or you eat in front of the television with your family at home during the weekends. Okay, or you can also mention that you sit around the table together with your family members, and so on. So this is some example of how you can describe on meals. Okay, we move on to the topic of housework. Okay, when you want to talk about housework, you can choose these examples like what are the things or what are the activities that you do at home. Okay, you can start by saying do chores or the housework, you lend a hand. Okay, you help your parents to do all the housework, you do the washing up, do the laundry, and so on. Okay, so that is under housework. Okay, and the last one is under one of the topics that you have to mention or you have to give to your friend is about leisure time. Okay, leisure time is where you can discuss about what you do with your family members, like for example chat, or you discuss something, or you argue about something. Okay, or you and your family share the same interest. Maybe you all have like talk about the movie that you have recently watched. Okay, or you can also say that you spend time together doing something like watching movies together, or you do something like you enjoy like gardening and so on. Okay, so these are some of the examples of the topics that you can use in your email later. Okay, so I hope you can make use of all these samples given to you to help you in writing your email. Okay, so make sure you follow the plan and also use the words or the ideas in the language bank. Okay, so with that, thank you and good luck.